Let's see. No. All right, still setting it up. Right. Us. Now we are live. Hi, and welcome to, I think this is episode 7 of the Abundance Show. And today I have the beautiful Serena L Larcombe, a friend and business colleague of mine, here to share how she has come to be living an amazingly abundant life. She's gone from lack and scarcity into total abundance. And from what I know, she did have to learn to fully love herself, which is what we talk about on this show, of how we love ourselves into abundance. Oh, and of course, for those of you who don't know me, who are new to me, which I'm discovering on my page this week, lots of new people. I'm Suzie Cheel. I'm called the Heart Whisperer and the Abundance Queen. And my story is about how I used the law of attraction, meditation, and that to actually heal myself so that I'm living an abundant life. But over the next month or so, what we're going to be talking about on here is I'm going to be talking with entrepreneurs, people who have taken their lives to the next level by fully learning to love themselves, stepping into gratitude, and I suppose living extraordinary lives, being the best version of who you can be. It's so important about that we really be human beings, not so much human doings. So what I'd like to do now is to introduce, and I've got to put the recording on, introduce Serena to the Abundance Show. So welcome, Serena. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm super honoured and super blessed and super grateful to be sharing space with you and to be part of this show. So thank you so much for having me.
That's fine. Now, Serena, can you give a brief synopsis of who you are and how you come to be sitting in this position today?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm a solo mum of 4 children. And as you said, life today for me is super amazing, super abundant. And, we just live this incredible life now, but that wasn't always the case. So my background, so I have prior to, stepping into this space, I was in traditional network marketing for about 5 years. And, during that time, it was really the last 2 years of my journey that I really felt out of alignment with that particular model. And, at the time, I seriously did not know anything about alignment. I really didn't know anything about the law of attraction. All I knew was hustle. So I was hustling, I was convincing, I was doing all of that, pushing, I was having parties, and I was doing everything that, I thought, is it fine? Everything, I thought that I had to do. And, I was so out of alignment. So what actually happened, I fell into a low vibration. I fell into lack, scarcity, stress, all of those terrible low vibe emotions. And, little did I know that I stayed stuck there. So I was manifesting more and more and more of that into my life over a 2-year period. So I was working with, a low level commission. So I was getting, I was putting a lot of energy and a lot of effort in and getting very minimal reward back. And when you're the sole provider of 4 children, that becomes quite stressful. And, I really fell into this mentality of, I'm making this work, and I'm going to hustle harder. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to put more effort in. And the more I did that, because I was so out of alignment, and, I didn't want to be that person that was, spamming people and coming from that energy. As I said, everything was resisting in my life. Everything was pushing away. So it was like the harder that I pushed, the more everything was going. And that, transferred right across, not just in business, it was in relationships. I wasn't present with my children. I was caught up in this absolute, stressful state, really. And so over that 2-year period, the last 2 years, I ate away my savings, and it really got to the point of where I couldn't pay for anything. And it was coming into Christmas of 2017, the new year of 2018, and I couldn't barely put food on the table, let alone pay for my house, pay for my car. And it was just like, the universe just gave me this massive jolt. And, I knew there had to be a better way. There really did. Obviously what I was doing was just not working. And I really came to that realization. So I drew a line in the sand, basically asked the universe for a miracle, because I needed one at that point of time, because I honestly just didn't know what to do. And, this opportunity, this space it just kept coming up in front of me. And I knew there was a reason. Like, I'm a massive believer, no matter where you are right now. And, it could be the most extreme of situations. Like, I've had many of those throughout my journey of life. The universe will always put in front of you what you need at the time you need it. And, I took action on that. I checked out this whole new way of, I guess, doing online business, and this whole new way of community and everything. And so I stepped out of that vibration of, that low vibration, that scarcity, stepped out of that low level commissions and a low level strategy. And I stepped into this, and I guess, the rest is history. Like, to say that it's transformed my life is just an absolute understatement. Like, I am so grateful and blessed, and, it has just opened the most incredible pathway and doors of full, abundance, inner transformation. It's just impacted our lives in so many ways. And now I get to pass that forward, and I get to have an incredible ripple effect throughout the globe of people that are experiencing the same. So it's just been incredible.
Thank you so much, Serena. It's just, it's been a special journey, such a special journey for you. That one of the things that we want to talk about today is that journey of self-love, and what I'm calling at the moment is, I've had to learn to really, I had to learn to love myself, to heal myself. That was the message I was given. But I've also heard you talk about, first of all, the power of gratitude.
Absolutely.
Moving. And can you share with the viewers, how you came into this, and how I know this is part of your daily practice?
Absolutely. And, obviously when I first transitioned into this space, I was so full of fear. I was low vibration. I was scarcity, lack. I had all of that going on, and it was pretty extreme. Like, now that I look back and I look at the way I was at that time, it's like, oh my God. But, that's just part of the journey. And the first thing that I did when I shifted into this space was that, I was introduced to the power of gratitude. And it was a book called The Magic. And, I was so coachable, and I so wanted to shift. I saw like all these amazing, abundant people, and the way that they were speaking, and the way that they were acting, and the way they were living. And I was like, I want to be like that. And so, they told me, like, the first thing you do is go and get this book. So I did. And oh my God, that book was the catalyst really for me to really embody the power of the law of attraction, energy, and vibration. And that was the start of my journey of so much transition with that. So basically, I read that book, and the first about 5 days in, I started to notice some little shifts and changes. I was seeing things differently. I was feeling different. I was starting to attract a couple of like different things, and people were noticing. And people were like, "What are you doing? Like, you're doing something." And so that to me was confirmation. That was confirmation of the power of that. And, a lot of people say, how can you shift out of scarcity into abundance? And it's actually not that hard. And I did it very quickly. Within the first 30 days, I had shifted that scarcity mentality. And from then, I've continued a ritual of embodying all of these high vibration things that, it has a compounding effect. And then you end up living in a state of abundance. So, every day I practice gratitude, I embody gratitude. Gratitude and fear, scarcity, lack, they can't coexist in the mind. So every single time you start to feel those emotions or those vibrations or, those feelings and thoughts and beliefs of lack and scarcity, you replace it with gratitude. And, because you can't think them both at the same time. So I really harness the power of doing that. And, I consciously changed my beliefs by doing that. And every time I'd feel it creep back, and like it still can here and there now. And straight away, I look at everything to be grateful for. I write gratitude. I speak it. There is so much for us to be grateful for. And I truly, truly believe that gratitude is the secret to life. When you're coming from a constant state of gratitude, even, like we still have challenges in life, and I have challenge. I have 4 kids, but there's always something, even if it feels like it's such a disaster, there's always gratitude in every single challenge. And when you can see it that way, and you can find the gratitude and the lesson and move past that, your life just goes on a totally different path. And that really does, help to shift you into abundance.
Yeah, it's so true. And I always think, I wake up in the mornings with, I'm always grateful first thing for my life. Yep. And I always remember what Wayne Dyer used to say: as you put your feet on the ground, you say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Yes. And I suppose I have had a gratitude practice for, maybe listening to Oprah years ago. She always talked about the power of gratitude and keeping a gratitude journal.
Yes.
And it really does make such a difference.
It's
as
massive.
does when you talk about gratitude and fear can't live hand in hand. Well, neither can love. If we're moving into love, we begin to release fear. And the power of loving ourselves. So as women, we so often put everybody else before us. And particularly as a mother, you've got 4 kids. Yes. They make a lot of demands on you. Mm-hmm. But so how is it that you've been able to step into this space where you've embraced the magic that you are, the passion? This woman has so much passion. I've seen her speak on stage and she moved me. So what were some of those first steps that you took, Serena, that you think made a difference to beginning to really love yourself? Because Absolutely. There was a time in your life where you didn't see your self-worth.
Absolutely.
And you didn't see that you were valuable to the world. So what was that? Maybe what are the steps you've taken, and maybe what is it that you do on a daily basis that really reinforces your love for you?
Absolutely. So, and I love that because I absolutely was at a place, from a previous relationship years ago. And, when I left that relationship, I would only look at the ground. I had zero self-worth. I had zero confidence. I had zero of belief, anything like that. And to see where I am today is like, oh my God, like I'm just such a different person. And, I guess what that comes down to, a lot of things, that I learned along the way was, I think it's really important so there's numerous things. So number one is that you do something that you love every single day. And that is a really important part of my daily rituals, because if my cup is not full, then I can't give to others. So I need to ensure that I do at least one thing every day that I love, that makes me feel good. And when you do that day after day after day, that has a compounding effect and really filling up your cup. And so for me, that, like, I love cardio. I love walking, like that raises my vibration. I listen to music, like I love music. Music is my jam, like that really raises my vibes. I love the ocean. Whenever I'm around water is my thing. And I get really, really creative when I'm around water. So I will walk the beach. I think it's super important to do something and to make sure that you fit it in, even if it's half an hour a day. As I said, when you do that every single day, it has such an impact on your life. So do something you love every day. Affirmations have been huge for me. So, telling yourself, like reprogramming your beliefs. If you're feeling unworthy right now, I would journal out, I am worthy. I am worthy of receiving love. I am worthy of receiving success. I am worthy of receiving money, whatever that is for you. I feel it's super important to, journal it out. Affirmations are amazing when you replace that negative belief with a positive, and you do that over and over, that becomes your reality. So that's another important one for me. Also, changing state. So I'm a big believer in changing state. And, if I'm just say, if you're in a environment, you might be at home and you start like lack and fear and things start to creep in, whatever that is for you, by moving the energy in your body, again, getting active, moving around, like changing state is massive. And, pattern interrupts as well. Like I would, every time, I fell into those feelings of not feeling worthy, I would just replace that with something else, with something positive, counteract that negative belief. And when you do it over and over and you interrupt that pattern that's playing out, eventually it will go. So, it's something that you just need to keep practicing. And also, I guess for me as well is just taking action. So, I had things, like when I used to jump on and do live videos and interviews and things, and I'd have all this stuff coming in my head going, oh, I'm not good enough. No one will want to hear what I have to say. And you know what? You just push play and you just speak, because that is your stuff. And it's actually not what other people are thinking. Again, it's your thoughts and your beliefs that are going around in your head. And when you act and when you just take action and you just do it, you push through that fear and you push through that limiting belief or that thought. And the more that I did that, and then, what the response that I would get on the other end was like, oh my God, amazing. Thank you so much. That has helped me so much. And, even if your voice or your message or by you speaking can change one person's life, like that is massive. That is huge.
That is so important, because there are so many people who will not push play because they feel that nobody wants to hear what I've got to say. And what Serena's just said, I've experienced. When you you think, oh, is there one person watching, or is there no people watching? But then there's all the people who watch the replay.
Yeah.
And if you just touch one person, you don't, I always think that sometimes when I used to first come on and nobody would look at my cards or anything like that, and then I'd get messages. So we
Yeah.
all have that. And one of the things I just want to bring in this amazing online business that we, which is how I got to meet Serena, by wanting to really look at how I could expand. Oh my goodness, sorry. How I could expand my brand, I suppose, because my brand is me. And I've always been trying to be somebody else or looking outside. And, I'd spent thousands of dollars on a branding course, on learning how to market online. And what Serena and I have found is this magical platform that is allowing us to, grow our brand, but really live very abundant lives. And one of the things there where Serena's saying, it's about, we can choose. We can choose whether one of the cards we choose today, I choose happiness. So a lot of people feel, oh no, but we can choose to love ourselves. We can choose to make that time for ourselves. Isn't that true, Serena?
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. And it's all a choice. And, it's just about making choices that are in your best, and, that honor you. And by honoring you, you're actually honoring your family. You're honoring your children. You're honoring your partner. Because if you don't, you end up, living in a state of where you're not living to your full potential. You're not 100%, full. And when that actually affects everyone around you. So it's super, super important to ensure that you choose you as well.
I think that's really important of what you just said. You must fill your cup.
Yes.
And so many of us, we forget.
We do.
I did it yesterday. I was thinking, here I am. I'm helping 101 people, but I hadn't done what I was meant to be doing for me. And, so many of us, I think we learn it from, I had the most amazing mother, her funeral, the half of Canberra were at her funeral. She was the biggest volunteer, but she had really low self-worth. She had achieved so much in her life, but, deep down, she'd never taken that time to really, fully love herself. And I think it's so important that we do that. So when we do this, Serena, how do you think this really helps us live an abundant life?
Oh, absolutely. It does, because, when you fill yourself with love and joy, like they're the top of the consciousness funnel. That's when you're vibrating at your highest. And when you vibrate at a level that is that high, which is full of joy and love, then you manifest. That's when you manifest. You manifest when you're sitting at those higher vibrational emotions. So it's huge. And for me, the more that I practice that, the more I practice self-love, the more I practice gratitude, the more I practice, having fun and doing things that make me feel good, it puts me at the top of those high vibrations. So that then when I'm, setting my goals and setting my intentions and doing my work, I'm operating at that higher level, and I manifest and I attract. And that's when you attract success. So if you're not doing that, it's very easy, like I did for 2 years, to fall into that lower vibration. And when you're in that low vibration, you just don't manifest. You just don't manifest all of what you deserve in your life, which is abundance and freedom and, great relationships and great people and, money, success, all of that. So to me, it's absolutely crucial. Like I just embody all of that, because I just it's about being the best version of you every single day. And when you can practice that, self-love and joy and happiness and gratitudes and all of those things, taking action, that puts you up there. And that's, it really has been such an integral part of my success and my life transformation by doing that.
Thank you, Serena. That is just that's a wonderful spot, I think, probably for us to finish today. That it's I'd like to challenge the people listening today. Serena, what would be one thing? What would be one thing that you would say to people today? Start by
practicing gratitude. It really,
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, it just because it was that moment. And I do believe that every person on this earth can practice gratitude. It's such a simple but such a powerful and impactful way to start. And once you practice gratitude and you see the impact it has on your life, that will then take you on a journey to really start to, go into other areas of how you can really raise your vibration and frequency. But, by practicing gratitude, it will impact your life in so many different ways, right through to abundance, to success, to money, to relationships, to everything. So that would definitely be my number one first place to start is gratitude. Write it, speak it, go and buy the book called The Magic. That takes you through step by step. It gives you a little exercise to do every day for 28 days. So you can actually reprogram your subconscious mind, and it's super powerful.
It is I have done that. I've also recorded it. I have 28 days sitting on my YouTube channel.
Amazing.
And for all the people watching, it's something we're going to be doing in my new group, which is called You Are Love. So we're building up, we're doing, I'm going to be doing meditations in there on radical self-love next week. And then we're going to lead into doing the magic.
Amazing.
So because I think it's so important. I don't know whether I would have healed without being grateful every day. I even had to learn to be grateful to drugs and whatever else, because I wouldn't be sitting here if I hadn't had the drugs that then caused problems. So we have to look at that, and for those of you who, it's just looking around. I'm sitting here and I'm looking out the window. I mean, Serena and I just have so much to be abundant for because we walk on the beach every day. So as soon as you put your feet in the sand, you're surrounded by it. But so the more we can see the small things in our lives that we're grateful for, that allows the universe to say, abundance, they're ready. Allow it to come in.
Yeah.
So I want to thank Serena so much for being on here today and just sharing her passion, her enthusiasm just for life and for living. And if there's anybody here who would like to connect with either of us about how we have this amazing digital online business that is helping us create this abundant life, just drop a comment below or message us.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. It's been super amazing. And also, don't forget to do something for yourself, something you love every single day. That's massive. That's another massive thing. Do something that makes you feel good.
Thank you once again, Serena.
You're welcome.
My pleasure. And remember, everybody, to love yourself into abundance.
Yes.
Namaste.
Thank you.